Yeah, let's just get started so we don't keep anyone on hold for too long here. Okay, are we good to go?
Yep, we're good to
Okay.
go.
Alrighty, great. All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for attending the first meeting of the Lehigh Valley section of the American Chemical Society After School Chemistry Partnership Program. I know that has a very long title, um, but it's our after school program, and the goal of this program is to provide students who are interested in chemistry with the opportunity to just meet and socialize, to meet college students, chemistry professionals, to learn more about the science, the profession, to do some fun experiments. We'll be sending out kits at some point, according based on the calendar. There will be some experiments where you can use what you have in your own home. We will be having a movie watch party. There is a book club that everyone will receive an email about. But we have a lot of really good things in store to hopefully offer everyone kind of a diverse range of experiences, something a bit more different than what you've been doing in school, or maybe to add to what you've been doing in school. Um, but we really just want to offer everyone a chance to do something different while learning more about chemistry, learning more fun things about chemistry, and learning about the diversity that is in the field of chemistry as far as professionals and experiences. And just everything about, hopefully, as much as we possibly can, about the types of people that are involved in the profession and how we're all different, but how we all share something important in common, and that's the love and appreciation for the science. Okay, Nigel.
Right.
Okay, so I would like to thank our program partners. It looks like we are spanning 4 different states here with this program. Um, we have Jeremy, did you want to welcome the folks that you have involved here?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Greglin, and welcome everyone. In particular, I'd like to give a shout out to the Boys and Girls Club of Bethlehem. I think they're actually, unfortunately, most of them will be joining us next week rather than today. But if a couple of you are here today, welcome, and we'll welcome more of you next week. I'd also like to welcome the folks at Ellis Prep Academy, which is the public high school serving newcomer young adults, where I used to work in the Bronx, actually. Also like to thank and welcome the folks from the Faith Foundation here in the Lehigh Valley, as well as one and possibly another one of our student leaders from Northampton Community College, where I work, as well as also welcoming folks from the Lehigh Valley Migrant Education Program, or MEP. I see you, Liliana, on our screen, and I think some of your students as well. So thank you for coming as well. And yeah, I'll send it back to you, Greglin. Thank you.
Sorry about that, I was muted. I would also like to thank the Reading Science Center, the girls STEM group that is there. If they're not participating today, they will be definitely participating in the next week or in the coming future. Brentag North America for their co-sponsorship along with the Chemical Education Foundation. They are the local sponsors of the You Be the Chemist Challenge. We have some students from that program who are here today. The Penn State Berks student chapter of the American Chemical Society. We have some leaders logged in today who will also be serving as speakers, much like Maria from Northampton Community College. ACS Chem Clubs for sponsoring this and sending the announcement out to the different chemistry clubs in the Philadelphia area, as well as Cape Cod Science Cafe and STEM Journey joining us all the way from Massachusetts. So I would like to welcome everyone and thank you for joining us today. Okay, Nigel. Okay, I'm Greg Lynn Gibbs. I'm the project coordinator for this program. Um, just a little bit about myself. I work at Penn State Berks. Penn State Berks is a Commonwealth campus of Penn State University, located just outside Reading, Pennsylvania. Um, my job is the chemistry laboratories manager. I'm also the advisor for the Penn State Berks Chemical Society, which is the ACS student chapter there. I'm involved in some various committees within the American Chemical Society, and I am very much involved in my local section, contributing to science and science education and outreach here in the Lehigh Valley area.
Okay, shall I go next?
Oops. Yes, you please.
Okay. Uh, so thanks, Greglin. And Nigel Sanders, as you can see there, Lehigh Valley section of the American Chemical Society. I'm currently the secretary of the section. And I'm actually retired for a couple of years from about 36 years in the chemical industry. So my exposure to chemistry has been not so much from the standpoint of academia, but a professor or something like that, but rather from the standpoint of an industrial job in new products development. So some of the things that we'll talk about, throughout the series are the various kinds of opportunities that are available to folks who are interested, as you guys are, in chemistry. And we'll over the next few weeks explore many of those opportunities and ways in which you can yourself sort of test out those possibilities, see what's really of interest to you, because there's so many different ways you can go with a background in chemistry. But nowadays I teach a little bit at East Stroudsburg University, try to reflect my industrial background with some of the students there. I've done that for about 3 years, actually. But later on in the series, I'll be happy to tell everybody more about my experience in chemical industry through an introduction to the field of nanotechnology. And that's perhaps a word that you've heard already. If not, we'll introduce you to it in a few weeks. And it's a very interesting field and one that is growing very rapidly. And some of the applications are already out there, even though it's relatively new science, only about 20 years old in terms of some of the science. But we'll look at some of that and look at some of the applications and what you can do with that aspect of chemistry.
Thank you very much, Nigel and Greglin. Before I go, I actually wanted to introduce one of our student leaders who's with us today from Northampton Community College. That's Maria Bartolucci. You'll be seeing her as well as a couple of our other students later on in the program at one of our panels, specifically the When I Grow Up Part 1, What's It Like to Study Science in College panel. So before I talk a little bit about myself and what I do and my excitement for the program, I wanted to just give a space for Maria to introduce herself.
Hi everyone. So my name is Maria, as Jeremy said, and I attend Northampton Community College's Bethlehem campus, and currently I am majoring in general studies, and I'm finishing up my general electives before transferring to Delaware Valley University to major in small animal sciences, and that's kind of like where my passion is, are animals, and yeah, so that's where I am now, and my my niche, just animals and science and stuff.
And you're the president of the Northampton Community College Science Club for the Bethlehem campus, which we appreciate. So you're representing them as well. Awesome. Well, thank you, Maria. So once again, I'm Jeremy Hyman. I work at Northampton Community College with campuses both in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, as well as Tannersville, PA, up in the Poconos and Monroe County. I am the Science and Technology Success Specialist within their Center for Career Development. So I provide a variety of career advising, career resources, and career development types of advising and opportunities to students. I help connect students with internship and job opportunities in the sciences and more broadly in STEM in general. And I really just I like connecting and talking with students about the chemical sciences and about STEM more broadly. And I am, as you can see on the screen, also the project seed coordinator for the Lehigh Valley ACS. You'll be hearing more about Project Seed from me, as well as from a few of my former students from Ellis, one of our other project partners, a few of my alums from there, a few weeks from now on February 24th. But essentially, Project Seed is a program that aims to connect highly motivated low-income high school students, such as some of you who are in the Zoom room right now, and some of your friends and classmates, with paid summer research opportunities in laboratories and or in virtual formats due to the increasing online presence that we have in general with COVID right now, and all of that. So we'll be sharing some more details on that. And that program that I coordinate in the local section is in line with my overarching interest and passion for expanding access and opportunity in the chemical sciences and in STEM more broadly, for middle and high school students such as all of you who are in the room right now. So I'm really looking forward to working with you and getting to know you, and for you to get to know each other and form this kind of virtual chemistry student community here. Um, Previous to my current role, I was a chemistry teacher, as well as a college advisor, and STEM internship coordinator. And before that, I did dabble in chemistry and biochemistry research more on the academia side. And yeah, it's wonderful to meet all of you. I'm looking forward to meeting you and meeting more and more of you moving forward as you come back, as you tell your friends and invite your friends to come, etc. So I'll send it back to Greglin and Nigel now.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Nigel. We have a brief video that we would like to share with you. We'd like to just open it up with 5 Black chemists who changed the world in celebration of Black History Month. Okay.
Okay, so are you seeing that?
I don't see anything. I think the screen is gone.
Let me hang on here.
Oh, great. I can see it.
They've alleviated pain, saved crops, and blasted into space. And that's just some of their long list of accomplishments. As part of Black History Month, we here at Reactions, along with our friends at Nobuche, want to recognize 5 Black chemists who changed the world. Born into the segregated South in 1899, Percy Julian was one of the first African Americans ever to earn a PhD in chemistry. Dr. Julian was a pioneer in synthesizing materials from plants, including a glaucoma drug from beans, a firefighting foam from soy protein, and synthetic versions of hormones. One of his biggest accomplishments was synthetic cortisone. The hormone is used to help arthritis patients, but cost about $700 a gram at the time. Dr. Julian made his synthetic version for just 50 cents, bringing pain relief to millions who couldn't afford it. Mae Jemison was the world's first woman of color to go into space. She joined the astronaut corps in 1987 and blasted off in 1992 aboard the shuttle Endeavour. As if being an astronaut wasn't enough, Dr. Jemison is also a chemical engineer, physician, and teacher. She went on to
Sorry about that.
found an international science camp for kids and has the distinction of being the first real astronaut to appear in an episode of Star Trek. Fighting racism and sexism, Patricia Bath is a pioneer in the field of eye surgery. She invented a new treatment for cataracts called laser phaco, which is still in use worldwide to this day. Dr. Bath's procedure for implanting an artificial cornea has restored sight to people who have been blind for more than 30 years. You could call her Blasting Betty. Betty Harris worked for decades at the Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico. She patented a device that could be used to test for explosives during criminal investigations. Dr. Harris also advocated strongly for girls in science, creating the Girl Scouts chemistry merit badge to match the Boy Scout version. And we couldn't possibly leave out George Washington Carver. Born into slavery in 1864, Dr. Carver went on to become king of the peanut. Dr. Carver focused on the farms of the South whose soil was depleted after decades of growing only cotton. At the Tuskegee Institute, he researched and taught methods of crop rotation and introduced farmers to crops like soybeans, sweet potatoes, and of course, peanuts. He even published a recipe book including more than 100 ways to cook with the peanut. In 1941, Time magazine called Dr. Carver a black Leonardo da Vinci. This list is by no means comprehensive. These are just a few of the black chemists who've changed the world.
Thank you, Nigel. For anyone who is interested in learning more about Black chemists who have changed the world or the contributions of Black chemists, um, you can visit the American Chemical Society website. They that type of information is available there. And as an aside, I just like to say that I have had the privilege and the honor of not only meeting Miss Betty Harris, um, but actually working as a student at Los Alamos National Lab as one of the students that she mentored. The African American Diversity Working Group there, the entire committee served as mentors to the African American students who worked there during the summers through the Los Alamos National Lab internship program. Um, if anyone is interested in learning more about these types of programs, we'll be talking about these and others later on in the session. Um, and if anyone wants to maybe send an email through the contact link on the same page that you registered for this program, I can also send information to you that way. But I can tell you that were it not for the mentorship that was available through that program and meeting scientists like Dr. Betty Harris, I probably wouldn't be where I am right now. So you never know who you'll run into, you never know who you'll meet, and you'll never know who will inspire you to learn more about science, chemistry, physics, anything, just in general, which is why we are holding this program for all of you. One of the things that we would like to know, and this is a short day today, um, one of the things that we would like to know before we wrap it up early, we don't want to overwhelm everyone with a long program on the first day. We'd like to get to know everyone, but one of the things that we'd really like to know is what are you hoping to learn from this program? And if you could raise your hand or enter what you would like to learn from this program in the chat field, we would greatly appreciate it. So we'd really like to hear from all of you. Don't hold back.
This is going to be a challenge with
I
35.
know it is. How about, okay, let's lighten it a little bit. How about suggestions for a song to play while we're waiting for everyone to join us in the waiting room for next Wednesday? Any song suggestions? The periodic
Periodic table.
table song.
Classic, classic.
Well, if you really want that, I probably could sing it for you. Maybe a little-
You know what, Nigel? We might have to take you up on that challenge.
All right.
So Sindra and Emma said the periodic table song. Okay. Alrighty.
It keeps getting longer and longer. You may know, it's longer than it used to be because quite recently, within the last couple of years, recently for me anyway, we've had some new officially named elements added to the periodic table. We now
Yes,
have
we have.
7 complete periods.
Yeah, and I think they did a revamp of the periodic table song and added that in just
Yes,
recently, didn't they?
yes,
Oh yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
about the update. That's interesting to hear.
yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw an update to that.
Wow, play the song.
But okay, Liliana, the student support specialist with Migrant Ed, is hoping we can learn about the many areas and careers where chemistry can be found. That's great.
Okay.
Anyone else? Would anyone like to introduce themselves? Nigel can unmute you and you can
Oh,
talk
yes.
if you'd like.
I see we have a hand raised from Sporthy.
Yeah.
One person's hand raised.
Oh, great.
So I'm interested in going into the science fields in the future, but like Eliana, I'm not really sure what field specifically. So I'm hoping this program will help me find some clarity in that.
Okay,
Okay.
Fantastic.
that's great. Oh, and Liang, Liang, I hope I said your name, correct me.
Yeah, that
Liang? Okay. What's the difference between a chemistry major and a chemical engineering major? What's a chem engineering, what's chem engineering like? Do you, one of you want to take that, Nigel or Jeremy?
I could have a try at it
Okay.
because I have in my industrial career worked as a chemist with a lot of chemical engineers. In fact, my boss for a number of years was a chemical engineer. So I guess the major difference is that chemical engineers work with chemistry, but their objective is to design processes. So industrial scale processes for creating new products, new types of materials. And this gets them uh, not only an opportunity to use chemical knowledge, which means, basic things about um, thermodynamics of reactions. So, is there a lot of heat involved in a reaction? Because when you're scaling that up to industrial scale, that's a very important thing to know. You have to know what to do with all that heat when you're doing a reaction in a really, really big reactor, right? An industrial scale reactor. Uh, that multiplies up that heat of reaction a lot. So you have to know things like that. You have to know a little bit about, how to design a process so that you can control the waste materials as well. So there's not only heat flow, but mass flow that has to be worried about. Those are things that for chemists in the laboratory and very small scale, they're things you need to be concerned about, but maybe not so critical in terms of what you're going to do with an experiment in the laboratory. But when you get to a very, very large scale in an industrial process, all of these things become very critical. So heat and mass flow are things that chemical engineers worry about all the time. So it's actually often the case where you have in industry chemists and chemical engineers working together as I did. And that's important because working together as a team, because you each bring different viewpoints on how to get to a common goal, which is to find a way that I can make X tons of some particular product each day. If that's, the desired quantity of material you need to make, because that's how much you think you can sell to somebody. Industries are always making things to sell, right? So you need the chemical understanding, which is oftentimes how the new product development starts out at very small scale in a chemical laboratory. But you also need that engineering background in order to find out what's important to know as you make that reaction bigger and bigger and bigger, and how can I actually make this thing happen in the real world. That's at least one point of view on it.
Yeah, I was going to raise the same point about the difference of kind of applying some of the engineering design principles and working on a larger industrial scale for engineers. And I would also let you know that you'll get to you'll be meeting a variety of guest speakers, guest professionals as well as college students and recent grads throughout the program across the chemical science. You'll be meeting people who work in chemistry, and you'll also be meeting people who are chemical engineers. I can tell you that a good friend of mine who's part of our Build Up to Earth Week, will be talking about her research in chemical engineering in one of our April sessions. So I think that you kind of get that overview from what Nigel just mentioned, and you'll actually be seeing it through some of the activities and through the speakers that you'll be seeing as you meet people from different areas of chemistry, different areas of chemical engineering. Maybe you'll get to hear a little bit about material science, because there's also with a lot of this, there aren't really strict boundaries per se as well. Like as Nigel said, people are often working on teams, and I would say that you know um, a lot of teams and a lot of roles are interdisciplinary as well. So great question, and we
Very good.
we, we look forward to you developing a broader understanding of that as well as of Liliana's questions throughout those you'll be meeting and interacting with and learning from.
And if I can jump in on that, my background is actually biochemistry. So the research that I have done throughout my career has mostly been with plants and animals, which is Maria's area. But I first started with genetic research on plants and then moved to well, not really genetic research on animals, but looking at different diseases that affect humans through animal models. So I've researched things like severe combined immune deficiency syndrome. I've looked at oxidative stress in cells, oxidative stress as and how it affects aging people, like and aging animals, and why our body, when we undergo something like oxidative stress, which I mean, to explain it simply, it's just when oxidative stress causes like our cells to break down and not be able to repair themselves. But to really try to figure out why our DNA is unable to repair itself when we're undergoing different things, like when our cells are undergoing things like oxidative stress from like sunburn. To, to just give you an example of something simple. But my background is biochemistry and also vaccine production. So um, everything going with COVID-19 is like right up my alley right now, since I spent so many years in vaccine and antibody therapeutics production. But just to give you an overview of that, so there are lots of different types of chemical engineers. There are also biochemical engineers who do something similar to that and work on those processes and those equipments and scale those, different type of equipment and scaling up to produce massive amounts of antibodies or vaccines and stuff like that. Um, so just to give you and just an overview of my area of expertise. And then we had, a comment from Sindura, hoping to learn more about different concepts in chemistry and prepare for the You Be the Chemist challenge competition and just to gain more knowledge about the topic in general. So I hope that you will be able to learn more about chemistry and how it's applied. And I hope that what a lot of what we discuss and a lot of what we show you will help you prepare for that competition. Okay, let's see. Oh, we have Jeremy. Did you want to take the latest comment?
Yeah, hi Umu, it's good to see you. I haven't seen Umu in a while since I moved away from the Bronx to here in PA, and so Umu wants to learn more about chemistry. If there's anything in more in particular you're looking to learn there, Umu, feel free to write that. I certainly know, I don't know who she has this year, but I know all of Ellis's science teachers, including the chem faculty. So I think Umu, this will be a nice opportunity to supplement what you're learning in the classroom, or in this case in your Zoom classroom, to really meet people in the field and hear about the applications of chemistry and whatnot and advance your knowledge. So, oh, you have Miss Amalia, wonderful, fantastic, thank you. I know that she had helped promote the program, so wonderful. If there's anything more in particular you're hoping to hear about, feel free to put that in the chat. But fun fact for the crowd, I was the chemistry teacher of one of Umu's relatives a number of years ago. Fun fact, early on in my career, and actually that relative of Umu's was also part of the Project Seed program a number of years back, working at SUNY Downstate Medical Center. So fun facts.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Alrighty. Well, I would like to again welcome everyone, say thank you to my fellow organizers. Thank you to our student leader who is here today. The other student leaders, unfortunately, are in class right now. Um, and I would like to thank our program partners. I know some of you are here just watching and observing and seeing, how the program is going to shape out. But I'd like to thank everyone who's been involved in getting this started and all of you for attending today. We really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to seeing you next week. Jeremy and Nigel, anything?
Oh,
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you next week. We have an exciting program planned with some speakers from Princeton University. So we're jumping right in with our guest speakers. We have to learn about some really awesome cutting edge research that's going on in their labs and about what it's like being a chemistry researcher from them. So
yeah.
we're excited to see you there. And once again, tell your friends, tell your classmates, tell people that you know who might want to come, and we look forward to seeing more of you there.
Yes, please get your friends to register and they can join in too.
And our very first activity / demo will be the following week. So we'll have a nice series going kind of back and forth between meeting people, doing things, seeing some awesome things on screen. It's going to be a lot of fun. So.
That's right. Lots in store. Okay. All right. Thank you, Nigel.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
Thank
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
I didn't know that you worked in vaccine production before, Goodwin.
Yeah, I did. I worked for a biotech company called Covance Research Products.
Okay.
They were kind of tucked away in Denver, Pennsylvania at a nice semi-secret location.
Okay.
So
Very cool. Very
yeah,
nice.
but that was a lot of fun. Did you ever read that book, The Hot Zone?
No, I haven't read that. No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's about that company.
Really? Wow. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Wow.
So lots of crazy stuff.
Cool.
And when I was at Los Alamos, that was a lot of fun. I was there for 2 summers, and then they actually hired me as an employee to work for a year,
Wow.
and I hadn't even graduated yet. So
Were you
that
like in
was
like a SERP and REU there, or
I kind of got my job separately. I applied to the undergrad internship program
nice? Awesome.
1 year, and they
Sweet.
rejected me.
Okay.
And then I wound up doing rare and prehistoric plant research at East Stroudsburg University,
Mhm.
which got me into a really good lab at University Park, researching
Cool.
transgenic plants and self-incompatibility. And they found out about my research at University Park because I actually was a National Science Foundation fellow as an undergrad.
Wow.
Yeah. So then they were like, hey, would you like to come out here to Los Alamos? And the first thing I said was, but you guys rejected me. So, but I went out anyway the following summer and just kept going back and had a great time. So I spent a
Very
lot of
neat.
time out there. It's a
Very
lot of
neat.
fun.
And you were mentored by that was awesome.
Yeah, by
That's
Miss Betty Harris. We called her Miss Betty. She's obviously Dr.
Dr.
Harris.
Harris. Right. Sure.
But there were so many great mentors there, and they were so supportive. And so many of the students in my cohort have gone on to work for NASA and other government agencies and stuff like that. It's just amazing. So
Very
it's an
cool.
amazing opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, one of my college friends that had done a fellowship there at one point. He was a physicist there.
Yeah.
At one point.
Lots of room for physicists, and
Yeah.
full transparency. My father also worked in Los Alamos.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, except he was a nuclear scientist. His job was to make nuclear warheads work better.
Oh.
I guess, or worse, depending on your perspective. But he was in a different area, so he thought it was really funny. Well, he didn't think it was funny when I got rejected when I applied the first time. He got really amazed, like, how come you didn't tell me that you wanted to work here? I could have gotten you in. I said, I wanted to get in on my own. And he's like, fair enough. So when the offer came around the second time after getting that fellowship, I went straight for it.
Cool.
But yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. So you don't always get accepted and you don't always win, but eventually you wind up where you wanted to be, right?
And those lessons of resilience are an important
They
part of the
are.
path to becoming a scientist as well, honestly, I think.
They are. And what do they say? You learn better from your failures than from your successes. So yeah.
Typically a long
Oh,
road.
Lillian, I think you're still muted. There we go.
Sorry, I was actually just talking to my daughter. I wanted her to introduce herself too. She doesn't work, well, she was working with the middle school students before, but now she works with the elementary, and she's actually worked with the pre-K students before with migrant education. So I thought she could introduce herself too.
Oh, nice.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, I'm like in a hoodie.
That's okay.
But this is so great. My mom was telling me about what you guys are doing and how she incorporated it with her. Hi, Crystal. Some of the munchkins that are on here. But yeah, she was telling me about how she's incorporating this with our program, and this is awesome. This is so cool. So our kids are gonna love it. They're totally into science, and Yeah, it's so cool. So happy.
Well, thank you. We're looking forward to having more of them come. And I'm so happy that I was introduced to your mom recently by my friend Tony from our college. That was like really really timely that we connected a couple weeks before this started. So it's good stuff.
No, yeah, no, she's worked closely with like a lot of the colleges over here. So she's really into all of this, all the chemistry and STEM and all that stuff. So yeah, and Clarice actually had attended Northampton Community College. So I think you may have seen her in the hallways.
Oh, you did? Recently or a few years ago?
I graduated in December, but
Okay.
I was virtual for like a whole, I think probably over a year.
Well,
So
I work in the Center for Career Development, which is also connected with the alumni office. So if we can ever be of assistance, so you're now working you're working part or full time with MEP, is that right? Or you're
full time. I've always worked full time. It's just I switched the grades. So like in the
okay.
beginning, I did preschool, and then I did middle school, and now I'm doing elementary.
Cool.
So
Were you
we'll
an
see
ed
where
major?
next year takes me.
Were you an ed major at NAC?
I no, my major was social work.
Oh,
Actually,
cool.
starting at Cedar Crest in
Nice.
the fall.
Very nice. Good luck. And oh, so you worked with Professor Horowitz then in the social work department.
Yeah, Hope. Oh, I love her so much. I'm sorry, I just love her so much.
She's awesome.
She actually, she really was the one to kind of help me like pinpoint exactly what community I wanted to work with.
Cool.
She's amazing. I love her.
Very cool. What was your first name again, by the way, in case I talked to Hope?
Oh my God, yeah, Clarice.
Clarice. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, no, definitely tell her I say hi. I think I just spoke to her like a few weeks ago, probably.
Okay.
I don't even, time is just like not even something that occurs to me anymore. So I'm like, I don't know if it's a month or I don't know. But yeah, no, definitely tell her I say hi if you run into her.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Just a quick thing that I wanted to add.
Please.
I know I was kind of texting Jeremy, I was texting you privately in the chat, but I worked with Lindy gases and Spectra gases in our area. So if there's a slot where you want someone to come in and talk to the students, just let me know if you're interested to hook up with Lindy, because I still know the engineers there and a few people there.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate
supply chain manager. So I learned a lot about gases. I worked in the manufacturing plant and the guys were really like nice enough to explain everything about, the electronics gases and the Windows gases and all the different things. And obviously, because I was purchasing them. So, and mentioned Los Alamos, I mentioned we actually had a site at Los Alamos. We had a column up there and I forget what it was, but yeah, we had a couple of people working up there.
See, the Los Alamos connection comes right back around.
That's very cool. I mean, as of right now, we have our calendar is pretty packed, but that's good to know for future reference for this as well as even for other NCC things as well. So we appreciate knowing that about that connection.
Okay,
We're
sure.
hoping this program will go forward even after these 3 months.
Yeah.
It will probably be a hiatus, but maybe next fall or something we'll do it again.
And we'll
That would be
definitely
great.
Definitely.
for more panelists as well, of course, more speakers.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And we're really happy that we were able to be included in this.
Sure.
So thank you again.
Hey, you're welcome.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yes, welcome. Thank you.
Okay, I think we can sign off now.
Okay.
Bye, Liana. Take care.
All right, thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Hi, George.
Yeah, George. Mr. Silent.
Hello there.
Hiding out there.
I wanted to see all the great stuff we were up to.
Okay, comments?
I think it's I think we got off to a pretty good start. We have a decent number of people who showed up and were interactive, and I think we have a lot of stuff. I was looking at the schedule, and how about other groups that want to join that maybe aren't in yet that are still interested in participating? Is that possible?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, we knew that there were some students who, and even one of the sponsor groups couldn't come today because they were going to join in person and their center's still closed because of snow. So other people, and we're telling people to join throughout.
Yeah,
So
and I think the Reading Science Center group, I think that they are still, I know that they enrolled a group of 10, but I don't think that they got started yet with their program this week. So they weren't actually logged in from what I could see.
And I just heard earlier today from someone who he works at one of the schools up in Monroe County, and he's I think in the earlier stages of still spreading the word. So hopefully we're going to get a few of his students as well. So certainly.
What about the lab kit materials? I know it's a talk next week, and then the first lab I think is the 17th.
That is an at-home one, and I actually just got all of the information from Robert Collier today, and I will be putting together a list, kind of like a scavenger hunt list of things for everyone to try to find in their home in order to take part in the activity. He tells me everything is easy to find.
And then George, to your question, the only day that there's actually a kit is for the no pop bubbles experiment on March 10th. So for that, from what I understand, Nigel has ordered and received a large shipment of materials, and Greglin and her students are very, very kindly putting together the kits. And then we're going to be trying. My guess is that for that day, we may not quite have everybody following along with kits, because let's say students who are, just who aren't part of one of the main partners that we actually have as a drop-off site may not have it, but at least most of the students should be able to have the materials. So,
okay, all the other lab weeks though, they can get the stuff basically from their house or from the local store.
Yeah, even the no pop bubble stuff, like if we can't get them a kit, they can get everything from the grocery store. And I'm going to put those lists together and put that information up, hopefully tonight or tomorrow morning, so that everyone can get what they need and have it in time for next week. And everyone will be emailed that information.
So we'll actually have not only do-it-yourself kits, but already made no pop bubbles. So particularly for the younger people join us, they may not be so interested in making it themselves, but they will be interested in observing what's going on and why.
And Greglin, is your plan for sending the list for the battery day, and then later on probably for the casein one? Are you planning to just send it out to the whole registered list, or do you want to send it to our respective partners ourselves? What's easier for you?
I'm hitting it from all the angles, the partners and the registered list, and some of the partners actually registered.
Right. Yeah.
So, which is great.
Right. I mean, you have them now. So I just wasn't sure if once you have it, if you were putting it on the teams, then I can send it out to people as well, that the partner site. It is if you want. Otherwise, we can just stick to your email list, whatever you like.
Yeah, I just took everything and just made an Excel spreadsheet with everyone's emails in it, and I was literally getting registrations up until we started the program, right up until the last minute. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing. I figured probably whether it's today or tomorrow, if you're able. I know that you had very kindly put them on that Excel yesterday, the ones you already had, and then there was some more added to that. I'd be curious to see which of the people I talked to have already registered now, so I know who else I need to still pocket.
Yeah, I actually the form, I've never worked with forms through the university's site. They use WordPress for the sites at PSU, and so it's been different working with this. So getting the information out hasn't been as easy as any other time I've had to get information from a form through the ACS. If it was an ACS form, form site, you automatically could, and Nigel probably knows, you could download a spreadsheet and it was so easy. But this, no, there's no option to download a spreadsheet.
That's disappointing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I've had to go through one by one and copy and paste the information in.
Jeez.
So yeah, but that's okay.
Well, whenever you are able to that stinks. I didn't realize that was the case.
Yeah, I didn't realize that would be the case either until.
That's so strange. So it's not through Microsoft Forms then. It's not recording it through Forms then.
It's like WordPress, and it doesn't really have a CSV export option unless I go back in there and find it. I've been looking for it because that would make everything so much easier.
Well, I'll look for, I'm guessing that you'll be updating that same after school registration spreadsheet. So I'll look out for that.
Yeah. I'll be updating it after we log off. Yeah.
Cool. Never. That's good.
Okay.
Folks told me that they were going to do 3 people told me since that list that they were going to. So hopefully those 3 did.
Okay. I think they did. Yeah. What were you going to say, Nigel?
What about the media?
the
Any
media.
response from the local media?
Not yet, not yet. But I'm gonna send out another announcement and we'll see what happens. So, and then I was also, Patty Galvin also asked about social media. So I will put together a social media post that she can send out also, just like kind of like you know how they do for National Chemistry Week, they have like that one image that has information on there. So I'll post that up into Teams and maybe you guys can look at that and I can send it to Patty Friday if
Who's
you,
Patty from ACS or something?
yeah, Patty Galvin from
Okay, I
ACS.
don't know.
Oh, you don't know who Patty Galvin is?
I don't know most people at ACS.
Oh, she's the person who was who's integral in the middle school chemistry program. Did you ever see the middle school chemistry textbook? And she also is the person who puts together and sends out the chemistry ambassador kits. Like I don't know if you've ever seen like the emails or like the announcements in the newsletter. Chemistry ambassadors can receive a free chemistry kit to do outreach in their area. Sign up. No, that's Patty.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
wondering whether someone in ACS DINR should be channeling this program.
I did send the information back to Ben,
Uh-huh.
who was the person who told us about the grant, and that actually came through LSAC, but I did email diversity. Um, and then I sent it to like Patty and I sent it to I think Dave Horowitz. I sent it to Nancy McCormick Pickett and I sent the information to Joan Coyle. So, and I sent it to ACS undergrad and high school chemistry clubs, which is why they're a sponsor now. And they've all been sending the information out. So, or they're aware of it. So Ben did not log in today, but he did receive all the information. So did like the LSAC general email.
Yep.
So,
You
George.
know everybody. You know everyone. That's good.
No,
Listen, I have been,
this ought to be something that eventually winds up, featured in a newsletter, an ACS newsletter, or
I think so.
any news even.
Yeah, because the committee on community activities was excited to see this, and this information is going to make its way there, as well as to the senior chemist committee. So, and actually someone from the senior chemist committee asked if they could observe our program because they wanted to do one for, I think it was 4th through 8th graders. So word will be getting around, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So slowly but surely. And then all of a sudden it'll be too much, I guess. But it'll get around.
Well, it's funny. One person who reached out to me asked if we had like if there would be an issue if too many people signed up. I said I don't think that's going
I
to be a
saw
problem.
that.
You saw that
Yeah.
email,
I
yeah.
saw that email. Yeah.
A teacher from Easton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just if we had 35 today, if we have 100, getting the feedback, getting the questions is just going to be harder there.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we have over 75 people registered and 35 showed up today.
Yeah.
So,
With Snowmageddon, that might not be a terrible number, all considering what people are going through this week.
I don't think it's bad either. For day one, I think it's pretty good.
The room could theoretically hold like 250, correct? The Zoom room that we're using. What is the limit on the Zoom room? It's pretty high, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, this is our ACS one that they've been extending to us. I don't know what the upper limit is. I think it's pretty high. I could check. We might want to come up with a few, survey questions or something.
You know what? I did download the Zoom survey template. It's like an Excel sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done
I
that
have
before?
not done it. No.
Yeah, I wanted to test it out and see how poorly I do with it, or see if I can improve with that before kind of sending that off to you. But there is a template. But like I said, I have to. I don't know how to use it, so I can't explain it to you. Jeremy, have you used it?
A survey for what exactly?
Zoom, like when you're doing a Zoom presentation, like poll questions can pop up.
There's a
You can make
poll
poll
thing here
questions.
I just
Right,
clicked on,
yeah,
and you
I,
can add a question.
right. You can add polls. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm actually using a poll. I haven't actually made a poll yet on Zoom. I'm going to be doing that I think next week for something I'm doing for the college.
Hmm.
But no, when you're thinking of having like polls during when you first did the survey, I thought you meant like the post survey for the end of the program.
Oh, is that, did you mean the poll questions or did you mean a survey, Nigel?
It's an open. It seems to be. I haven't used it, but it looks to me like it's an open-ended question
Right.
thing,
Okay.
choice question thing.
Yeah.
So you meant to like try to have like polls each week? Is that what you were thinking about doing, like for to gauge things
Just
about
to be sure that we get some feedback when we have a very large number of people, and
right?
like hey,
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
ask a question
Yeah.
Yes.
verbally, and people aren't really,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I do have a template for that. I do have a template for that, Nigel.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
can
Zoom,
send that over.
I mean, I know you just make a poll. I didn't know there was something like a template. So you just create a question and a poll. I don't
Hmm.
know what a template would be for it, but
It's
I
just,
can't. I know that not. I don't have Nigel. Since this is your Zoom, you're probably the only one who can actually create a poll. I'd imagine right now. I think right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think so
You
because
don't
you're
see
the
polls
admin. You're
down
the
in
admin for
your
this call.
little tray.
What?
Here. If you don't see
Yeah. No,
polls
we don't.
icon down in your
No,
tray,
no, we don't.
no.
Because you're the host and the admin.
mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, we could have a general poll question, or we could have like specific ones for that week. For we could certainly look into that. Um, yeah.
It would help with interaction.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Yeah,
When you can set them, I'm pretty sure you can set them either. You can make them live, or you can set them up even before the meeting starts. I think, as
oh
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that would be desirable. We
Yeah.
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 just
Yeah.
like we'd integrate that into the program at various points.
Yeah. Like we could have like for the maybe for the chem stem for next week, maybe um I mean
Well, yeah, I mean, I could send a message out to the Princeton people and say, if you want to include a poll or two,
Yeah. Definitely. That would be great.
would you
yeah,
do that, please?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll do that for Robert since he's the following week.
yeah.
Yeah.
And for the I mean, I'm curious when you do a poll on there, can you other than seeing the results, can you actually see who participated in the poll and who responded what or no? That I wasn't sure.
I don't know. Usually that's whoever's on like the controlling end of that.
Yeah,
Um,
I would see that.
So you'll see who did it and what they said. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. All right, good. Because I'm just thinking like when I do my project seed panel, for example, that could allow me to see live who's interested in hearing more about project seed moving forward, who I
yeah,
can follow
I
up
can
with.
share that result. Yeah,
Right. Okay.
usually, they only give a very short period of time for people to
Yeah. Yeah.
click
yeah, it's
and
really
Yeah.
short.
show
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. Okay. Cool.
Are
And that could
these
even
What's that,
that could
George?
okay.
are these sessions that we're doing, are they geared primarily toward middle school or high school or both? Like who are we?
Both.
Both.
So it'll be appropriate age range for both, anywhere 6 to 8 and 9 to 12.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, some programs are, probably more geared to younger versus older, but we're trying to bridge the gap as much as we can.
Yeah, there would be a
Compared
good
to today,
mix.
Jeremy and Greglen, do you have a sense of what grades were represented today?
It was high school and middle school.
Like high school?
Yeah, there were literally students from my school district who
Okay.
signed up from the high school and the middle school. So I know for a fact
Is
that
that
it definitely was
Muhlenberg
because I
or
know those students.
Muhlenberg or
Wilson,
Wilson?
Wilson, West Lawn, not Wilson like Allentown, because there's
Yeah,
two in our section, two Wilsons.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right. Good.
yeah.
Cool.
And then the other registrations, they were asked to put their school in. I don't know if you saw the the preview that I put up there. I think did I load the Excel sheet too?
I
I
don't know.
thought I loaded
You-
both, but they did
you-
say who they were with when they registered. So there
you-
was a good mix of
I
middle
see
school and high school.
participant. Oh, no, that's the letter. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. It says like group or school name for the registrants,
right,
groups or individuals. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's the Excel sheet. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there were schools from the Allenton Bethlehem area. There were a couple of homeschoolers. They didn't put what grade level they were.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I
but
see.
they just put homeschool. So, but I'm going to update that so you can see everything.
Okay, great.
Great.
And
Thanks.
yeah.
Great. Awesome.
What do
And
you think,
George, I
George?
believe you have access to that too, George. You can see it because you were added to the team, I think, weren't you? Didn't I
Oh,
add you
in the sign-in portion.
for Microsoft Teams for like
Okay,
SharePoint? Yeah, you should be able to see all that information too. Since this whole process like was started under you as chair, you know. So good for you to be able to track and see how the program is going.
exactly, and that'll help Roger with his report because it'll all be in his ear. But
hmm
we
I
we
did
can
send
keep
Roger
moving.
the link too to
Okay,
and
good.
everything to get in today.
Yeah.
So will this session we're doing now be able to be spread? You know, you can maybe the first 20 minutes when they did the people. I don't know if you want to keep this portion, but it would be a great way to advertise the program for those that are coming up, for those who weren't on it yet, to get them an idea of what we're going to be seeing. That would give them an idea what's coming up in the upcoming weeks. Just give a basic, you know, so that they don't miss out on week one. They just can watch it on their own
I see
and
what you're
decide if they
saying.
want to keep going with, you know, the rest, just so that they have something to base it on.
I see what you're saying. So share the recording from week 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
planning to do that unless anyone objected. Yeah,
No, I don't mind.
figure out how to edit it here, but yeah.
I have a editor over here on my end if you're able to share the link to the recording because
Oh, yeah,
that's what Olivia, she's my media expert. That's what she does.
that would be great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just share it with you guys then, and then you can edit out what you think would be good.
Okay. Yeah, because Olivia has told me on more than one occasion she doesn't feel like she's doing enough video and graphic wise. So anything you need edited, we'll put Olivia on it. So she's like, I feel like I'm slacking and I'm not doing enough. I was like, okay, we'll get you some more work.
All right, I'll remember
How is
that.
she on writing annual reports?
What'd you say?
How is she
Annual
on writing
reports.
annual reports?
She would say, is that in the form of a video? And if not, we're on our own.
You used to be able to post video clips, but maybe you can now.
On what? Oh, through the,
Annual report.
hmm. I know before I would just put a link in the report to the video and make sure it was available
Yeah,
on
Yeah,
a
because some
website.
portions ask you, like, what's your website, and put the link in. There are parts where you can link what you've done as part of, like, the activities, especially. Is there a link for the activity that you can put in?
Yeah, because we're data limited with the ACS reporting system. Even with the student reports, we're data limited. We can only upload but so much information.
I'm gonna get back to work here, guys, but take care. We'll see you
Bye.
later.
Yeah, I have
Bye-bye.
a meeting
Uh,
in an hour
Yeah,
too. Good
take care.
night.
Good night.
That's
right.
because some poor souls have to read the reports. That's why they have limits on the words, on the character count.
Definitely needed. Definitely needed. Plus, if you have the link and it's public information, it's kind of like the proof that you actually did it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
the proof is in the pudding.
And I've got all that stuff, George. I've got, all the links to whatever all those webinars were recorded.
That's awesome.
We got
That's
that.
cool.
Most of them are up on our YouTube channel as well.
Oh,
Yeah, I had put the first one we did was in January. Was what's her name? Little Megan Latshaw, but that was only good for 6 months. So I did go back and watch it before the 6 months is up. So we can report that we did it, but there is no link for that one. But as far as some of the other ones,
Yeah, that's because she hosted that.
yes.
Yeah. So
Well, at the time, it was a brand new thing. The whole Zoom was new to me. Who knew we'd be using it so much?
that's really cool that the YouTube channel's here. I didn't even realize that the LVACS had a YouTube channel and everything's
I
just sitting
started
right
that
here.
couple
That's really cool.
Couple of what?
couple of months ago.
Okay.
That's really cool. Yeah, I see 2 months ago, 2 months ago, 2 months ago. Yeah, I see that. That's really cool. That's cool. Well, I mean, we'll get, Olivia on the
Plus,
video
we have
and
to
then
redo the slime activity. I've got my kit, and
do you
Jennifer has
have your
her kit.
kit? Yay.
It's
I
still
still
in the
have stuff.
box. I never responded to Patty when she sent the email to everybody to say, if you've used it or not, respond to this so I know. And I never did. So
Oh, you know what? Well, we emailed back and forth because she was
Well,
at
she
the
knows you
thing,
did.
but
She was on your
yeah,
call, so
yeah,
you're
but I
safe.
didn't do a form, so
But Jennifer, I think has one, and you wanted to get another one if you could, and
yeah,
I've got my kit, and it would be nice to do that
that would be
maybe for
cool.
April or May.
Yeah, that would be great.
That way, we're making excellent use of what we have.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes one kid.
Yeah, they were sneaking by the whole time.
Mhm.
One came out wrapped in her ACS blanket. She looked like the ACS ghost walking around behind me. Did you
Those
see her,
tremendous fast.
Nigel?
It must have been busy.
Oh.
Something else. Didn't notice.
As soon
Well,
as I saw her sneak into the corner, I stopped my video and told her, I was like, you're on camera. And she was like, oh, okay.
how
And
many
she just kept on walking.
That's
She's
what
shy. No, she's not shy.
they
how many hours difference is China where your kid was doing that, whatever you call semester abroad or whatever, what
Oh,
2 weeks?
yeah.
How many time
Yeah.
zones different is that?
How many what?
Time zones different.
Oh my gosh. All I know, it was like 13 hours difference. So it's a
Maybe
few
we could
time
squeeze
zones.
an activity in similar to this where they could do it at 9 a.m. while we're doing it at 8 p.m.
Oh my gosh. She's here. That's actually my editor, Olivia. So she's here. She's a Penn State Berks student.
Is she in contact with them? Like, does she email them or like any of the ones? Or
Her host family,
is that
like she
something
keeps in
that's
touch with them through WeChat.
okay? Is that something that's theoretically possible, even if it's only a small scale, just to
I'm not
have?
sure, but they have the thing that would make it different or difficult is the Great Firewall of China. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that,
No,
but
I can't
they are
say.
not really able to communicate in a variety of ways outside of the country because of their firewall. So that's what would make it difficult for us to do anything. There are schools and host institutions in China that are ACS affiliated. So we would have to probably try to partner up with them to get them to do it. But, a lot of things are blocked.
Okay.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, Nigel, I'm gonna let you go. And George, it's nice talking to you.
Yeah, it's the closest thing we've done since when?
I
Who would
know,
have thought?
right? I know. But alrighty. Well, you guys have a good night and um, we'll be in touch because we got a bunch of stuff to go
The
over.
doodle poll I know Roger sent out. When is that? Well, when are we planning that meeting? Is
I
that for
didn't
the
even
end?
answer the doodle poll, so
I
I'll
haven't
make
gotten
sure I
that far
do
yet.
that.
Is that for the end of the month or is that like now?
Doodle poll for what now?
About the next meeting that Roger had sent out to
We had
pick a
one
date?
last week. I mean, there was another meeting.
I saw a doodle poll got sent out, another
I
doodle
didn't see
poll.
another doodle poll. What was that for?
I was hoping you do. I haven't opened it yet, but
Yeah, I didn't open it either.
I mean, we
So
just had
I'm
our
gonna,
meeting last week, so I assumed it wouldn't be for a little while, but
well, I'll open it and look.
Unless that's not having to do with the annual report. I don't know.
Hmm,
You wanted it. You wanted some input on chem luminaries,
let me
right,
see.
George?
yeah, actually, yeah, whatever activities we're going to put,
Maybe that's what it is.
we'll need to
Maybe.
beef up the um, descriptions of it for the ones that we're going to self-nominate.
Hmm.
Hmm.
You got some information now on the swivel and the owl.
I see that. I tried opening them
Yeah.
and looking at them. That'll come in handy as we.
Yeah, I think these are a little different, I think, than where you started, right? I mean, you guys were thinking of helping people, make high quality video recordings, for virtual meetings and things, but this is really getting on more towards, giving us the capability of doing streaming,
Yeah.
live streaming, which we should really think of long term because, we have, when we're back having in-person meetings, not many people come, right?
right?
Nope.
They're more likely to watch.
Why not? Yeah. Why?
Yeah, which is why I think I suggested a couple of cameras, but yeah, the
Yeah.
owl and the other one,
This
those are
is
great.
this would be the way to get a high quality record. Before we haven't really had the quality to even make it
Mm-mm.
worth doing, but here we're talking about getting that kind of quality, and you can either do it for people to look at later, or you can live stream it
That's right. Live streaming is a lot of fun.
on our Facebook page, on our
Yep,
uh, YouTube channel,
yep.
for example.
And Olivia actually is a Twitch affiliate. She streams multiple times a week.
Yeah,
Video gameplay. She has a lot of experience with that.
yeah.
So
Well, we
she's
should
been
be
teaching
asking
me
her what
about it.
system we should buy.
What's
What'd you
that?
say?
We should be asking her what system we should buy. She might know them more than we do.
You know what? And I gave you suggestions based on what she would use. But yeah. So she likes the Logitech. I'm not sure if I sent you information on that one. It might have been back a while. But there
Yeah,
were
I'm using it now.
the new Logitech, like the C920 or whatever it is.
I don't remember the numbers, but this
Oh, okay.
ultra high definition.
Yes, that's probably it. Hmm.
But that, yeah, I mean that's still though, kind of a webcam device, just higher resolution.
Yeah.
Whereas these things are really, capable of by mechanical scanning or multiple cameras
Hmm.
able to take in a wide range. So, if you've got a lecturer that's moving back and forth, which you kind of hope they would, right? Get some energy going, don't
Yeah.
just stand there. This is what you need. Doing it with a webcam just wouldn't work. You need something like this.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, I see the last thing here. Oh, Kelly, doodle poll, Roger. Oh, I think it was just the notes from the EC meeting that went out. It wasn't another doodle poll.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it right now. But okie dokie.
Mhm.
Well, guys, I'm gonna head off and
Great.
try to throw
Yep.
some dinner together before my meeting this evening. So,
Okay, very
have
good.
a good night.
First one.
Alrighty.